Alright, I'm back at the London MCM Comic Con doing another camera comparison shootout for you guys. My sister's got the iPhone XS Max and I'm using the Oneplus 7 Pro. Which one is a better shooter? We're about to find out. If you want to follow my sister on Instagram, her Instagram's on screen right now. Some awesome cosplay here today. Going to be taking some interesting photos for you guys. Hopefully it's going to be a bit different from what you've seen in other camera comparisons. So let's go. So this photo was taken in artificial light inside the Comic Con. Yes, it's a bust of Iron Man made out of foam. And it looks pretty awesome, right? So anyway, the photos. The iPhone, whilst delivering a decent photo with good details, seems to be quite a bit darker than the Oneplus 7 Pro. And this is likely due to the larger image sensor inside the OnePlus device. As you probably already know, it's got the Sony 48 megapixel sensor in there, which is probably the best sensor right now on the market. So if we look at the OnePlus photo, it appears to have more detail, more accurate colors, and it's not crushing the blacks quite as much as the iPhone. Generally speaking, I think the OnePlus wins this one, but what do you think? Leave me a comment below. Okay, it's picture 2 and it's Iron Man once again. This time it was shot in a very bright natural light condition. Again, the iPhone is producing a darker photo, it's crushing the blacks again, and it has a lot more shadow. And you can really see that if you look at that Joker standing behind him on the right hand side. Look at his trouser legs. And you'll see what I mean about the shadows and the darkness. Again, on the OnePlus, a great bright photo. It doesn't feel like it's losing any detail there. I've got to give this one to OnePlus 7. Let me know if you disagree. Let's move on to picture 3, a selfie portrait on the two devices. So this is many thanks to the lady playing Lara Croft here. Her Instagram handle is at the bottom of the screen here if you want to go check that out. So there's some significant differences here. On the iPhone, we see a really truly amazing amount of blurry background, but the subject of the image is quite misty. It almost appears as if there's a fog right across the photo, and it's doing a lot of smoothing in the foreground as well as the background. The OnePlus 7 however is delivering a very crisp photo. There doesn't seem to be any softness around the edges of the subject of the photo, and I don't feel like it's over sharpening the image either. And when we compare the skin tones, I personally feel the skin tones are more accurate on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Although with that said, the amount of blur in the background isn't quite as much as the iPhone, but it's pretty decent, don't you think? Let me know which one you think won this portrait shootout. Okay, now onto a rear portrait photo on both phones. Again, the iPhone is delivering way more blur, but what's really interesting about this one is the colors. It seems to me that the iPhone portrait mode is doing a better job here. The OnePlus 7 Pro photo, whilst it still looks good, is quite a lot brighter and it looks a little bit more washed out. I'm sure this is something OnePlus could probably fix with software in the future, but as of right now, when I made this video, I have to give this one to the iPhone. Picture 5. Now this is a color test shot indoors in artificial light, and how many of you guys are Fortnite fans? Let me know. Anyway, I've done quite a few camera comparisons with the iPhone, and in almost all of them, the iPhone always seems to add a warmer tint to its photos. And once again, you can see it here in this photo, particularly on the carpet, on the floor. The OnePlus 7 Pro with its larger image sensor is again delivering a brighter image all around, and the colors are very vibrant. As well as that, it's not too dark in the shadows either. The iPhone, however, is much darker and has deeper colors, which is a good thing, but it also has more shadows and maybe some details are getting lost there in those shadows. When it comes to color accuracy, I'd say the OnePlus 7 is doing a better job. You may disagree. If you do, leave me a comment and let's move on to the next one. So I just threw this one in here because I bumped into Jay from Jay and Silent Bob whilst I was taking this photo. He was actually getting a selfie with this cosplayer as well. So that was pretty awesome. You guys seen that film? So now this is the detail shot, and what I did was took a picture of this crowd that was gathering around the steps at the front, and what I want to show you guys is how much detail the cameras are actually picking up, and we can do this by zooming in post editing way back there to a cosplayer wearing a Thor outfit with the Stormbreaker hammer. And when we look at this side by side, you can definitely see a difference here. And again, it's probably because of that image sensor. Just a bit more detail there on the OnePlus 7 Pro. This is Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a Wookiee who chooses to live on Endor with a bunch of 2-foot tall Ewoks. That does not make sense.
Why would a Wookiee, an 8-foot tall Wookiee, want to live on Endor with a bunch of 2-foot tall Ewoks? That does not make sense. But more important, you have to ask yourself, what does this have to do with this case? Nothing.
So I took this photo to demonstrate HDR, high dynamic range, due to that heavy backlighting coming through the windows there. And I think you'll agree both phones are delivering an impressive amount of detail, but the shades of color coming from the OnePlus 7 Pro photo look better to me. It seems to me like the strong backlighting is affecting the iPhone in how much detail it can actually get in that foreground of the photo. Once again, I think the OnePlus 7 wins. So this is slightly different from my other camera comparisons I've done in the past. These last 4 photos, there's going to be a poll up in the top right corner, so you guys can let me know which one wins in each one of these. And also, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments as well. So let's roll the photos. Hope you guys enjoyed this daylight camera comparison on the OnePlus 7 Pro versus the iPhone. And if you're interested in seeing the low light photography comparison on these two devices, use the poll up in the top right corner and I will do my best to make that for you guys. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that one, check out some of my other camera comparisons and I'll see you guys in the next one. So don't be late.